be asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's be free with me.
Hi, I'm Katherine from Katherine Learns Stuff. I'm excited to be here today. I just love the music that they always have when they start these live sessions. It makes me want to dance, but no space for that. So while everyone sort of joins us this morning, I'm going to do a quick little intro about myself if you haven't met me before, and then I'll just talk about my crafts and all of the other fun stuff that we do here at Katherine Learns Stuff. And by we, I mean I, because it's a one-woman show. So I'm Katherine. I've been blogging almost 4 years now, and I have sort of started crafting more and more before this, and I decided to sort of share all of my crafts with everyone and my friends and family, and now it's sort of growing to be crafting with more people. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm just getting over a cold, so if I cough, you have to excuse me. But if you haven't heard of me before, you can find me at KatherineLearnStuff.com. You can find me on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Pinterest at Katherine Learns Stuff. I do not have an Instagram account yet, but maybe in the new year we'll get to that. It's a lot for one person to sort of manage and keep producing, hopefully, good quality content. So for this project, so for this summit, I made, there we go, this card here. It is a, sorry, I'm backwards on the screen. It's a gatefold card, so it actually opens in the center like so, where you can write a nice little message, and it folds on these little legs here, if you can bear with me. Excuse me, sorry, like so, to stay closed. And I got the idea for this card. I'll just hold it up for a second so you guys can see it. I got the idea for this card. A friend of mine was making cards for a birthday or something, and she had these really cool gatefold cards, and I'd never really seen it or paid much attention to it. And I thought that'd be a really nice winter card, because it's got the nice sort of brown gray background that sort of excuse me, sorry. It's got the nice background that kind of makes it look wintry, and I threw on some white there. So I thought it would be nice design to do. And if you haven't checked out the website yet, I do have a freebie. So this is the original card that I made. But if you sign up for the freebie, I've got it somewhere here. Sorry, I'm backwards on the screen. I made this one as well. So it's just a standard card in case you prefer a standard card or a gatefold card, which is what comes with the summit. So you can check those out at the website. Sorry, I've really got a frog in my throat here. So when I do crafting, most of the time, I really like to do shirts. Shirts is my sort of favorite thing. And that's kind of where this all started out. And I do mostly like custom shirts for my friends and my family. Christmas is a big one for funny shirts. We'll do, we did some Star Wars themed ones last year because we were big into some Star Wars episodes. And I've got a few that I want to try out this year. And I'm going to try out to make some puff vinyl shirts. I've never done this before. And so if you have done puff vinyl and you have any tips or tricks for me, that would be great, because I'm going to give it a shot and see how I can do it. I've got some ideas. And I was hoping to do like a reindeer with a big red nose, and the nose be red and puffy. And so hopefully I can make it work. I've never done it though, so we'll see if the puff vinyl actually puffs out for me. But I like to make shirts a lot. That's kind of my go-to craft. Most of my wardrobe and my husband's wardrobe, and if my kids let me, their wardrobe is all sort of shirts that are designed. I'll do pants as well. It's a little bit harder, but I'll do their pants and just add some custom decals to that. And then after that, I think I probably like to do, I'm not going to say stickers per se, because I'm just really sort of getting into stickers, but I'll just make out of regular permanent vinyl. I'll make like decals for their water bottles for my kids, or even just for like my computers. I find that works just as good almost as stickers. So we've got a question here. What inspires you when making cards? Typically when I'm making cards, I have like, I don't know, something coming up. So like for this winter summit here that we've got right now, I was thinking of sort of something wintry that would, and I really like cardinals, and I thought that would be a great thing to do. But it's sort of like what's coming up. So if I've got a birthday coming up, I think of who the birthday's for, and then that's what I'll do, sort of make the cards around for them. So I've got my box of cards here. I'll just show you some. So like, this is a shaker card I made. Sorry, this side here is maybe a little bit less shiny. This is a shaker card I made a while ago. It was for Easter, and I was really into, I sort of still am really into like shaker bits. So I thought, what could you do with kind of shakers and bunnies and eggs for Easter? So I kind of made that. That was kind of like a, how do you sort of do that sort of a thing? And then I've got some more sort of shakers in my big shaker phase. I got my heart shaker, which I thought was cool. I got these like little love shaker bits. So I thought like, oh, Valentine's, that was for Valentine's Day. So I kind of just sort of think of like what kind of event is coming up and then who the card's going to go for. And then I'll sort of design that. Some of my designs are less stellar, let's say, so they don't really make it very far. They typically just make it into the blue bin. And then that's where they sort of finish if I don't get them finished. But I try to always think of who the card is going to make it sort of personalized, to make it, something that they would really enjoy. Excuse me. So that's kind of sort of where my cards come from. And then like for this summit, there was sort of a theme of it's before Christmas and winter. So I thought, well, what can we do that's different for this? But so I just tried the cardinal one for this one. So back to just more stuff about me. So a few weeks ago, say a few months ago now, there was a sale on paper cardstock, just regular solid color and fancy colors and designs. And I went overboard and I bought like way too much paper. So now I'm trying to work through like 1,000 pounds of paper. And I bought most of it at Michael's. It was like, I don't know, $2 for like a 24 pack of 12 by 12 cardstocks. It was just a ridiculous sale, and I bought all of it. And now I have to really start working on some more paper crafts because I don't need all this paper. Let's be honest. Who needs it's like a stack like this big of paper, and it's all different sizes and colors and shapes, and it's all beautiful. So I need to make some more projects with that because it's something that really doesn't need to be sort of just sitting around. So I'm working on more projects. So I've got like this side here, I got my flowers that I made there a while ago. So I thought, I've got lots of yellows, so I'll make flowers. I made some over here. Got some boxes for my countdown calendars. I've got countdown calendars all over my house right now for all the kids. I can't show you those ones, unfortunately, right now. But yeah, so I'm trying to use up all my paper. And the sad thing is I got all these fantastic colors of paper, but they're not the colors of paper that I need for my project. So like I did a bunch of countdown calendars, and the one was blue and like Christmassy theme. So I was like, okay, I've got like blue stars and blue sort of snowflakes. And so that was, 5 pieces of paper. And then I did a mittens countdown calendar for my daughter, and she wanted it red. And I was like, okay, well, that's going to be 2 pieces of red paper. And then the green one, that was another 2 pieces. And then the rest of the project was like tissue paper and ribbon. I was like, well, that's not going to get rid of my paper problem. So then, of course, Christmas coming around, and I was going to make some Christmas crafts. I'm like, why don't I make Christmas paper? So, of course, what did I do? I went to the store and bought more paper. So now I've got another 50 sheets of Christmas-themed 12 by 12 cardstock. So I have to use that. So I've got like 8 projects on the go right now for Christmas-themed stuff, which I'm hoping to get through within the next, 2 weeks, because Christmas is only 3 weeks away, not even. So I'm a little bit behind on my Christmas prep, but that's okay. I'll be ready for next year if nothing else happens out of that. So just to talk about some of my other favorite things, I really like sort of themes for crafting. So like Christmas is a good one. We're coming up to right now, but I really like Halloween, and I don't just do paper crafts or cards for Halloween because I don't really think cards for Halloween work with my sort of sense of Halloween, but I really like to do Halloween projects. And so just having different types of Halloween projects that are sort of outside of paper crafting, just sort of crafting in general. So I did some pretty cool. I tried to make a glow in the dark potion this year. for our Halloween decorations. Didn't totally work. I made a video on it on YouTube that you can check out, but it glows pretty nicely in the video, but in real life, it's not as bright. So it didn't make it into our actual Halloween display this year, but we'll keep working on that maybe next year. And then I do some like upcycling crafts. So for Halloween, we also did a big zombie pit from an upcycled skid. So that was fun. And then I'll do like cake toppers and cupcake toppers for Halloween because everyone likes sweets always. So we need to have sweets for that. So, what else do I talk about here? I've got, I'm working on some Christmas projects, and I'm trying to use up all this paper. And let me just grab one here. Sorry, I'm back. I'm making these snowflakes. Yeah, I'm going to show you a snowflake. Don't tell anybody about this. This is a secret. It's not public yet. So I'm making these snowflakes, and I've got like 12 different versions of a snowflake because I can't keep things simple for some reason. So here's another snowflake. They're all kind of similar, but they're different. And so these are really small snowflakes. And if you are making snowflakes, do not make snowflakes that are super tiny and thin because they are a pain to get off of your cutting mats. I use new cutting mats because these are sort of intricate cuts and I wanted it to stick really well. So I put them onto my new cutting mats, and then I spent about 45 minutes trying to get these snowflakes off of my cutting mats because I couldn't get them off because they were sticking so well. But then if I had used worse cutting mats and like my older ones that I'm too lazy to clean, they wouldn't have stuck well enough and then would have been all chewed up in my machine. So if you are looking to do snowflake crafts by middle of next week, hopefully before then, I'll have 2 fun snowflake crafts up for you that are pretty easy, and you can actually get my snowflakes from my website then, which is katherinelearnstuff.com, or you can get just random snowflakes that you can find through Design Space, or maybe you have your own that you've designed. So that's one of the projects that I'm working for, and I'm just going to show you here. I've got like a whole bunch of snowflakes, and that was like 1.5 sheets of blue. So I'm not making good progress in using up all of my cardstock that I bought. So if you have any suggestions on how to use paper, let me know. What are the trees behind you? These trees. These trees here. These are my little Christmas trees. I made these last year. Oh, there we go. So this is felt. Sorry, off screen here. This is felt, and this is foam paper. And I actually have some upstairs with paper as well. I saw a picture of these somewhere, and I just made circles in there. I got my kids to put these together for me because they like to help me with my crafts. And so this one was supposed to be sort of a standard tree, but it went in differently because my kids had different ideas. And then I just thought, nice, cute little Christmas decoration. And I've got some wooden dowels and some beads inside. And I cut up a 4x4 beam for some other projects that I was doing. And I had a whole bunch of leftover pieces. So I made those for bases, and I've still got more. And I've got some more Christmas trees coming this year as well. Similar, but different than these ones. These are fun to make. They're like, I think the hardest part with this was cutting the felt because after like 3 or 4 sheets on a thick cut mat, like that just started to like chew my mat up, and it started to kill the felt, and it was just like a disaster. So I had to keep washing my mat and using new mats and washing mats kind of in between to get all of these done. And I just have an Explorer Air 2, so it doesn't work. Like I just got the sort of standard blade on my Explorer Air 2. I don't have a cutting the cutting blade on that you can get with the maker. So I don't have that option to use the rotating blade. I've considered upgrading to the maker, but my Explorer 2 still works, and I don't have space for 2 machines. I don't think my husband would be too impressed if I kept increasing the space of my workspace. I've already taken over the whole basement and half of the garage, and I'm not sure there's going to be more space available for me to capitalize on. So, but if I ever get the maker, I will try to use the other ones. But like you can do felt and even like the foam stuff here on your Cricut, on the Explorer 2. It's just like with the foam, I had to cut it twice. And with the felt, it just took a lot of cleaning the mats to make sure it stuck well. But it just cut fine. I think I had to cut it twice to go through the felt entirely. And then I've heard that some people do, I've never tried it because I just heard about it recently, but like when they're doing felt, they'll actually put, what's it called? Using sewing, interfacing on it. So like they'll iron interfacing onto it so that it holds the felt better, and then cut it so it cuts better that way. So I have to try that out when I do some more felt projects coming up. So, so that's those ones there. Sorry about all the coughing, folks. Do you prefer mass making your cards or a couple at a time? I typically do 1 or 2 at a time. I have not, I say that I'm trying, I typically do 1 or 2 at a time because they're like, you know, for a special occasion, for a special someone. I have a few cards that I've designed over time sort of for my website and for these summits. And those are sort of, they're all specific one-offs, aside from like trying to figure out how to make it work. So I'll go through a bunch of paper that way. I'm actually currently trying to do 6 at once, sort of like trying to use similar designs but different cards. And so I'm trying to do 6 at once. It's proving to be, I'm going to say challenging in that I have to remember all my pieces are and remember what goes with what. So I'm trying to do more at once, but typically it's just 1 or 2 at a time. So like for the summit, right? Like I did this one, and then I did this one, and they're kind of, they're kind of the same, but they're a little bit different. So I'll do like similar like that. I'll do 2 or 3 of that, but I don't do like 20 or 30 or 100 cards at once. Sadly, when it comes to Christmas, I still buy cards to send to people because they're cheaper to send in the mail. So if you are on my mailing list of my family that you're far away, you get standard, you know, Walmart cards or Hallmark cards. And then if you are close, you'll get a custom card if I don't have to send it in the mail, because I find that these fancy cards that we make end up costing a lot to send from where we are, at least. I'm really sorry about all this coughing, folks. So if you're going to try to make the trees, if you go to my website, they're actually there, and you can, I think I've got the circle thing there for you to get if you want it. It's not like hard to make circles. It's just time consuming to make like 40 of them. So you can check that out on my website. I don't remember that. I think that's called like a simple Christmas tree or something on my website. I can't remember. It feels like a long time ago when I did it last year though. So you can find those if you just go to my website and search under Christmas tree. You should be able to find it there and take a look at how, like, I give you some pointers on what to do with that as well. So do we have any other questions? I'm just going to keep talking about some stuff here. So, sorry, folks. I'm going to ramble on about some more paper. So I did, sorry. I've got myself reversed in the screen. So I did these little guys here a while ago. Oops, there we go. These are some cape toppers that I made out of cardstock. So this blue stuff here that I use, I find this is an awesome cardstock. You can just buy it at the dollar store where I am. It's actually the Dollarama. They come in like fancy different colors. You've got like blues and reds and greens, and they work awesome for cake toppers because it's really thick and it holds together nicely. So when you're making cake toppers, I find it works great. The only problem is that they like to lose glitter everywhere. So once it goes into your cake or your cupcakes, you don't want it to sort of be touched too much because you'll get glitter everywhere, and nobody likes glitter all over the place. Are the flowers behind you made from paper? Yeah, so those flowers, I'm trying to bring it closer here. These are my black-eyed Susans. I made these just earlier this season because I was walking somewhere and I saw them outside, and it was just the end of the season and they were starting to fall apart. Sorry. Let's see if I can get this in the screen so it's not like super bright and shiny. So these are just paper, just yellow cardstock, brown cardstock here, and green cardstock here. And this is like a flower stem that they call them. And so I made these a few weeks ago, let's say, just late August, early September timeframe, because I saw them outside when I was out for a walk and I thought they were great, but they were all dying because the season was over here where I am. And so I made myself, wrapped up in them, I made myself some flowers so that I could have them here and make it look kind of pretty. So I'm trying to learn how to make flowers. I have a few that I've designed that I haven't made yet because I got carried away with Christmas. But yeah, they're all just paper. They take about like 5 minutes to make once you've cut it out. I've got a design on my website, of course. And there's 2 designs actually. Let's see if I can find the difference here to show you. So this one here, sorry, bear with me for a second. Is it going to zoom? Okay, maybe you can see it. I don't know if you can see it very well, but this one's actually got like score lines all through the flower petals so that it makes the flower kind of have a little bit more depth and character when you look close to it. And then I've got one that doesn't have that, like so. I don't know if you can see the difference or not between these 2 flowers, but they're a little bit different. So one's got more character to it and one's sort of a little bit less plain. I like the ones with more character, but they take a lot longer to cut out because you have to score every flower like 15 times or so. So it takes a little bit longer, but they're nice to make. They're fun to make and people always like them. So, and they're nice gifts to give to people too. So if you're making flower gifts, you can get a copy of those at my website as well. But they're fun to make and they're pretty quick. And it's not a lot of time to make them, but I guess you can make them different colors too. That's always fun. If you were stranded on a desert island, what is the one craft tool you would want with you? Oh, that's a tough one. Craft tool? I'd probably say my Cricut. Maybe. Yeah, let's go with my Cricut because I think I could probably figure everything else out. Like, because that's really the design. My drawing abilities are terrible. I can design a little bit better, like using even just basically using Cricut Design Space, or I also use Inkscape. So I don't know, either my computer or my Cricut. Like you can't use your computer without your Cricut without your computer. So it's kind of, or without a tablet. So I'd have to have like a Cricut computer combo, or that would probably be something that I would bring, because like even if I want to do my shirts, I need to have a design that I would cut out with my Cricut. I don't really cut them out by hand. I'm not that skilled with a knife to cut out vinyl or HTV. So that's kind of I'd probably say my Cricut, because I think that would have to be the one. I don't think any of my other tools would really do it, because I guess I could bring scissors, but I don't know how much fun those would be. So, any other questions? No. Okay. I'm going to cough a little bit more here because it's that time of year. My hand is power. Yes, I like this. Well, that wasn't like an option, I guess. How about a non-electric tool? A non-electric tool. I don't know if I have it. I guess maybe just like, I'd probably say scissors then, because I could like cut things with scissors. I have to have some pretty sharp scissors though. But yeah, I'd probably go with scissors if it was, because everything I do has to be cut out somehow, or maybe glue, like, and rip pieces up with my hands. Maybe, I don't know. That seems a little bit excessive. Let's go with scissors. I'm gonna say scissors would be my go-to tool for bringing with me somewhere, so I could cut things. I could stab my paper when I get angry at it. But yeah, I think scissors would be my go-to tool. Excuse me. I'm really sorry about all the coughing, everyone. But that's what happens when you have kids, I guess. So back to crafting. I'm trying something new. I don't know if I mentioned this. So I'm doing 6 different projects right now for Christmas. And Christmas is less than 3 weeks away. And I typically do 1 project a week. So I will have 2 projects ready before Christmas. I will have 1 ready on Christmas Eve, roughly. And then I will have like 3 Christmas projects completed after Christmas, which is about standard for the way that I do crafting in my house, because I'm always behind schedule. It feels like I start planning and starting the crafts 6 months in advance. And by the time that they're actually done, it's already after the event. So like I'm still finishing up some Halloween crafts posts that I did before Halloween. The projects were done before Halloween, but the posts never got up. Neither did the videos, but that's okay. They'll get there eventually. So it's going to be the same thing with my Christmas crafts. So if you're waiting, there'll be some fancy snowflake ones coming out soon, hopefully within the next week, because these ones are cute and I think they're good for adding to your tree or just your general decorations around the house. So that'll be there. And so I'll let you know how all those 6 at once goes. I'm trying to like batch it, and so I was cutting all day yesterday with my machine, and surprisingly I didn't have any issues, which was good. I always find that something goes wrong when I'm cutting a lot at once. And I don't know if anyone's had this. Maybe you guys have had this. I was trying to cut on 8.5 by 11 cardstock with Cricut, and my first sheet in Cricut Design Space that went into the Make It section said came up as a 12 by 12 cardstock, and when I changed it to 8.5 by 11, half of the design that was on the picture, like on the 12 by 12, just disappeared. It didn't go onto a new sheet. It didn't go anywhere. It wasn't hidden. It was just gone. So I had to like recolor a whole bunch of things. And so I was trying to troubleshoot how to fix this, because it was like every project I was doing yesterday that was on, and I use 8.5 by 11 typically because that's what I can just easily buy. And so all these designs, like half of the design was missing because it would just disappear. So if you ever had that problem and you know the solution, look me up and tell me how to fix that, because this happens randomly. I don't know when or I don't know how. And I rebooted and I turned it off and I restarted and it just wouldn't go. So I had to like go through and recolor half of the design from white paper to purple or whatever, so that I would have enough on each sheet so that would all cut through. So that was my big beef with it yesterday. What advice would you give to someone that is just starting to craft? My advice would be, do it. It's fun. Don't get frustrated easily when things don't work out, because crafting is sort of like, I'm going to say like therapy maybe, but it's not, it can be challenging and it can be frustrating, but it's like, you don't have to strive for perfection, because it's, you're going to see more flaws than the people who look at your project. So I've, show my projects to people and they say that they're great. And I'm like, oh, but this, or, oh, but that, you can see the glue, or the cut didn't come out perfect, or I messed something up here. And so you're going to be your biggest critic when it comes to crafting, and everyone else is going to think it's great, because doing things by yourself, people don't do that very often. Like, at least like in my, people community, where, I'm face to face with everyone, not sort of my online community. Not very many people craft, so they don't really realize how much work it is and how hard it can be. But everyone seems to appreciate what I make, and they don't see the flaws in it. And I think that's the big one. I always see the flaws. I can see like, oh, this didn't glue on properly, or this isn't 100% perfectly straight, or, the color is slightly off. Like, I'll see those things, and you'll see those things as a crafter, but nobody else will notice them. Nobody will notice that, there's a little bit of dry glue showing at the side. They won't see it. You will. So I think just being sort of easy on yourself and not pushing the situation to like, get to stress yourself out, because it's a fun thing. It's a creative thing to do. So there's no point stressing about it and just enjoying it. So hopefully that has answered your question. Now, what's your background? Oh, my background. Sorry, I was thinking about like my background behind me. I was a little bit confused there. I'm from Canada. I live currently in Canada. I'm just in a little town called Waterdown, Ontario, which is outside of Toronto, and that's where I sort of live, just in a little town. But yeah, that's my background pretty much. And then, so I'm Canadian. I live there, and that's I don't know. That's my background. I don't know. There's not much more excitement to that. So, all right. So that's, I guess, a wrap. So thank you, everyone. If you don't follow me on any of my platforms, please check out my website, KatherineLearnStuff.com. Check me out at Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, at Katherine Learn Stuff. Please be sure to follow me on any of those platforms. I am currently trying to grow my YouTube channel. So please subscribe if you can, check out my website, join my mailing list, and hopefully I will talk to you guys all soon. Thanks so much for chatting with me today, and thanks for all the questions. It was great to see you all.